Dear friends, today we are going to continue presentation of our bilingual book, Little Epos. It is English-Russian book. This is the first one in family books series. I have two helpers, Lisa.
Hi.
And Emma.
Hi.
They both went to presentation of our book in the village library and bought a book each. Lisa, have you read my stories?
Yes, all of them.
Wow. So what is your favorite?
A dressmaker.
Why?
Because it reminds me of my experiences, how I cut a hat for my dolly from my mother's dress. Just look.
Emma, what is your favorite?
A dressmaker.
Wow, we have no choice but to read A Dressmaker. So Lisa and Emma are going to read a story which called A Dressmaker.
A dressmaker. Shortages of many attractive clothing during Soviet times inspired many females, and some males, to make garments for themselves. There were plenty of natural and extremely cheap materials in the shops, but not well-designed clothes. Once, my older sister Nellie decided to make a pretty dress for herself. She put a piece of blue silk on the table and started working with it. I watched her very attentively and did not miss any of her magic. We went round and round the table, bending down over the material and standing back from it. The shadow from her figure was jumping from one wall to another, creating some sort of witch dance. She was murmuring to herself, which sounded to me very much like magic spells. She put pieces of the pattern onto the silk and then repositioned them, then thought it over and changed everything round, again and again. She did some calculations on paper and drew lines with white chalk. Finally, she took the scissors and cut the material. She must have been very tired after that, so she went into the kitchen to make herself a cup of tea. Now it is time for my magic, I decided, and I went closer to the table. I put my dolly in the middle of the silk, and it took me much less time to decide upon her dress. I took scissors and cut it. I was so happy to wrap my new dolly in her dress, but I could not understand why Nellie was screaming at the top of her voice.
What have you done with my dress? Why did you cut a hole right in the middle of it?
I said, "What's wrong? I did exactly the same as you did." She says,
"Well, if you wanted to make a dress for your dolly, why could you not use cuttings? Look, we have plenty of them."
"I suppose I could," I replied, "but why did you not explain this to me before?"
Dear friends, I hope you enjoy our little presentation. And if you want to write your opinion, please use my email address over here, Zhanna Jarmyn, bt internet.com. I hope to hear from you soon. Bye!
Bye!
Bye!